Hi, my name is Alicia Salcido. Welcome to my Week 4 multimedia discussion for MPA 580 Ethical Analysis. In this presentation, we're going to be reviewing an ethical dilemma, a public administration example in my work field. I'm going to be reviewing two different analyses and then an alternative for the ethical dilemma. I work for the County of Riverside in the Self-Sufficiency Department of Public Social Services. We do process CalFresh and Medi-Cal cases. So for CalFresh, for example, it's required for work eligibility workers to complete interviews with customers who are interested in applying for CalFresh, just to get basic information about them to see if they are potentially eligible and see what required verifications are needed. So there was a situation where a worker called the customer to conduct an interview. The customer did not answer, and then the customer kept calling to reschedule the appointment, but the worker would not reschedule the appointment for the customer. So this is a problem for the customer because the customer is applying for benefits and they're in need of service, and they are required to have this interview in order to even be potentially eligible to receive benefits. The worker, even though they were busy, they still need to make time to schedule a telephone interview with the customer when the customer is calling back, and the worker just did not follow through with that. As the worker did not follow through, it prevents the customer from receiving benefits or being. In this ethical dilemma, my duty is to assist any eligibility workers that need assistance into um, conducting an interview with any customers or going over anything with them. It's just to be there to assist them with anything that they have. So because now that I'm a supervisor assistant, the eligibility worker who was not able to schedule the appointment should have had made an attempt to reached out to me, or at least explained to the situation why she did not want to schedule the interview for the customer, even though we are required to schedule the appointment for the customer, as they've made several attempts to give the worker a call to reschedule the missed interview. Therefore, the customer is allowed to reschedule. The worker, just for whatever reason, didn't do that or reach out to anyone to do that. And as a professional aspects, like since we're obligated to do this, this could, the customer could take this to a hearings, and it could escalate to a lot further situations, and especially to higher ups. For the ethical approach for the virtue theory, as a worker's job classification, it is her duty to assist the customers that are in need, to follow the rules and guidelines that are in place by the state and federal government. And one of the requirements is to conduct an interview with the customer. If the customer calls to reschedule the appointment, or if they miss their interview, they are required to do that interview with the customer. It does not have to be with the same worker. Out of her character, based off of her job classification, morally, she was not doing what she was supposed to be. She's been practicing, that model of conducting her interviews with her customers, and for her not to conduct it, that's morally breaking that law. Um, for utilitarianism, um, for that theory or ethical approach, it's to maximize the most happiness, and it could be for herself or for others. And in this situation, it would be for the customer. You're trying to maximize that happiness for that customer, even if you can't even be happy yourself. So she could have just at least scheduled that appointment for the customer, knowing that it's for whatever reason she's just not happy with the situation, but at least the customer is actually getting what they want. Um, For an alternative decision on this ethical dilemma, it would be best for the worker to reach out to someone, letting us know that there's this customer who is in need of assistance, who needs their appointment scheduled. She cannot do the interview for whatever reason, and just, just be vocal about the situation. You cannot just let the situation pass because the customer is the one who is in need. And this ethical approach would be utilitarianism because, she's sacrificing uh, whatever reason that she has against the customer to not schedule the appointment to make that customer happy, to maximize that happiness for that customer because that is all what the customer wants. That is the end goal, is just to get the appointment scheduled in order to receive the benefits. And that was the end of the presentation. Thank you guys very much for listening.